In the deep forests of ancient Russia, people whispered stories about a strange and powerful woman. Her name was Baba Yaga. Some called her a witch, others called her a wise woman. She lived in a hut that stood on giant chicken legs and could move through the forest. Smoke rose from the chimney, and bones often lined the path to her door. No one knew how old Baba Yaga was. She seemed to have been alive forever. Some feared her because she could be cruel or even dangerous. Others said she helped people, especially those who were lost, poor, or brave enough to face her. She was not purely evil, but she was never truly kind. Baba Yaga knew powerful magic. She could fly through the air in a giant mortar, steering with a pestle and sweeping away her tracks with a broom. She spoke with animals and understood the winds. Some believed she controlled the forest itself, but Baba Yaga did not live in peace. Her power made enemies, and her life was filled with danger and struggle. Though she is often remembered as a scary old witch, the real story of Baba Yaga is deeper, darker, and far more interesting. This is her story, from mystery and magic to power, and finally to her death. Baba Yaga's home was not easy to find. Hidden deep in the woods, her hut moved to avoid uninvited guests. Only those who truly needed her or dared to seek her ever found it. The forest listened to her, its trees parting when she walked and hiding her from strangers. She spent her days gathering herbs, talking to animals, and casting spells. Birds flew to her windows with news. Wolves guarded her paths. She was a part of the forest, and the forest was part of her. People came to her for help. A sick child, a missing person, or a cursed village. Baba Yaga could fix almost anything. But her help came at a price. She always asked for something in return. A task, a truth, a secret. And if someone lied or failed, she could be cruel. She had a sharp tongue and a quicker temper. But those who were honest, brave, or respectful often left with exactly what they needed, even if they didn't understand it at first. One day, a young girl named Vasilisa arrived at her door. She would be the first of many who tested Baba Yaga's heart and her magic. From that meeting, Baba Yaga's life began to change. The girl called Vasilisa was sent to Baba Yaga by a cruel stepmother who hoped she would never return. She carried only a small doll, a gift from her late mother. When Vasilisa knocked on the witch's door, Baba Yaga grinned with sharp teeth and asked why she had come. "I need fire," Vasilisa said. "My home is cold." Baba Yaga laughed. "Fire? That is simple, but you must work for it." She gave Vasilisa impossible chores, sweeping the floor, cleaning the hut, and separating piles of grain, all before the sun rose. Vasilisa was clever and kind. Her doll, which held her mother's spirit, helped her complete the tasks. Baba Yaga noticed. "You are no ordinary girl," she said. "You are protected." Vasilisa answered with respect, never bragging. Baba Yaga allowed her to stay a few more days, watching how the girl worked and spoke. The forest itself seemed to soften around her. Though Baba Yaga could have harmed her, she chose not to. Instead, she gave Vasilisa a skull with glowing red eyes. "This fire will light your way," she said. "Be careful how you use it." Vasilisa left safely, and Baba Yaga stood alone again. But something inside her had shifted. She had felt warmth, curiosity, maybe even care. It was dangerous to feel such things, but the feeling stayed. Enemies in the shadows. As Baba Yaga's power grew, so did the fear of those around her. Other witches, greedy nobles, and angry villagers whispered lies about her. They said she stole children, cursed crops, and brought storms. Some feared her wisdom, others envied her strength. One night, a group of men entered the forest, armed with torches and swords. They wanted to destroy Baba Yaga's hut and rid the land of her magic. The forest warned her. Trees groaned, animals fled, and the wind howled. She stood tall as they approached. "You come to fight the forest," she said, "but the forest fights back." With her magic, she summoned a fog to blind them and roots to tangle their feet. The hut rose on its legs and stomped through the trees, scattering the men. Some never returned, but the attack left a scar. Baba Yaga had once again been reminded that humans feared what they did not understand. Her heart, which had softened, grew hard again. She became colder, more cautious. Still, she watched over the forest, not to protect the people, but to guard her home. The world outside was growing crueler, and she knew the day would come when even her power might not be enough. The three riders. Baba Yaga often spoke of three mysterious horsemen who rode through the forest, one in white, one in red, and one in black. No one knew where they came from or what they were. Some said they were her servants. Others believed they were the spirits of day, sunset, and night. They arrived silently, riding through the trees at sunrise, noon, and dusk. Baba Yaga always paused her work when they passed, bowing her head in respect. One evening, a young man dared to ask her, "Who are they?" She replied, "They are older than I am. They serve time, not me." The horsemen were a sign that even Baba Yaga answered to forces greater than herself. Time, fate, and death were powers no witch could escape. But lately, the riders passed more quickly, their visits colder. Baba Yaga felt her strength beginning to fade. Spells took more effort. Her bones ached. The forest whispered of change. She began to prepare, not for battle, but for the end. The fading magic. Baba Yaga could feel her magic weakening. The forest no longer responded as quickly. The winds carried fewer messages. Her animals stayed silent. The change was slow but clear. She sat by her fire and remembered the times she had helped and harmed those who crossed her path. She didn't regret her choices. She had done what she thought was right, even when others misunderstood her. She brewed her last potions, gathered herbs one final time, and sang old songs to the trees. She visited the deepest part of the forest where her magic was strongest, and for a moment, it returned. The trees swayed gently, as if bowing to her. She thanked the forest. "I was never its master," she said, "only its guest." Baba Yaga returned to her hut and told it to stop moving. She no longer needed to hide. Her time had come, and she would face it without fear. The sun set slowly, the Red Rider passing silently by. Night was coming. A final visitor. As darkness fell, Baba Yaga felt a presence outside her door. She opened it to find a young girl, lost, afraid, and alone, just like Vasilisa long ago. "I need help," the girl said. Baba Yaga looked into her eyes and saw truth and courage. She invited her in, made her tea, and listened. The girl reminded her of everything she had once stood for. "I will help you," Baba Yaga said softly, "but this will be the last time." She gave the girl advice, a charm for protection, and one last warning. "Be wise, be brave, and do not forget the forest." The girl left safely, her eyes wide with wonder. Baba Yaga smiled once more, feeling something like peace. She had helped someone again, not out of duty, but because it felt right. Then she lay down beside her fire, wrapped in a heavy cloak, and waited. The death of Baba Yaga. That night, the Black Rider passed by, slower than usual. Baba Yaga felt the air grow still. The forest did not speak. The fire burned low. She closed her eyes and breathed deeply. No pain, no fear, only quiet. In her final moment, she whispered a spell not to live, but to rest. The mortar stood still. The broom leaned beside her. The hut creaked softly as if sighing. Baba Yaga, the forest witch, the feared and respected guardian, had died. Her hut did not rise again. Her magic faded into the trees. The forest held her silence like a secret, deep and old. And so the story of Baba Yaga ended. Not in battle, not in fire, but in peace.